morning, everybody. Welcome to Trading Live with Bubba. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. We'll be a relatively short session today. There's nothing going on in this market. We have a very quiet trade, which is expected this time of year. As we look, you can see volumes are way below what normal would be. And I just don't think that it's very much to get involved with. I have not made any trades yet today. Just working some stops on orders that I have profits in. But again, overall, I would just really tell you that it's best to do nothing but what we're going to do today is just run through all the things that we might trade and look at for future use. And, if something does happen, but if we look at the euro currency, it's really still stuck in the box that I drew a while ago. There's really nothing to do. The lean would be to the long side based on the oversold conditions. The notes, again, we'd be looking for a spot to potentially buy, but I'm not like I said, I'm not overly interested right now with the lack of interest in volume. I think 108 is a pretty good level to look at. The bonds, very oversold. I would think that you'd be looking somewhere around 113 if you wanted to buy them. And just for everybody's knowledge, the news, the rate cuts, interest rates have gone up a full percent from 3.5 to 4.5, while the Fed has cut a full point for the banks. So the banks are making more money, while we still get screwed. Bitcoin, as we told you, that we would look for a little bit of a sell. Of course, once again, it is probably I'm looking for 85,000 in Bitcoin to be a potential buyer. I'm still a seller up here. If it consolidates, we would look at it from a different reason. Gold having a nice little charge today, coming off that oversold condition. I would think that probably 2670 would be some resistance. I think overall it's 2600 to 2700. Silver, for those of you who might trade it, again coming off that oversold, but it's really just in a range 29 to 32. Let's go down to natural gas. If you do trade it, very overbought. The sell-off is expected, and I would think it might go a little bit lower. Crude oil, 66 to 72. I can tell you without looking, it's been there for 3 months. Not much to do in here. And again, one of the problems we have is the issue of the lack of activity in this market. S&P, a little bit of a charge up. Again, I'd look to be a seller probably around 61.50. I'm not a buyer right now. The NASDAQ, I'd look to be a seller about 22,300. The Russell, I'd look to be a buyer around 2240. The Dow, I think you're looking for somewhere around 42,500. And then, of course, you go to the stocks. We got Apple, certainly overbought. Again, I'm not really excited to get involved here. I certainly would be, if anything, I would be a seller. But as I said, I'm really not all that interested in the market that is extremely quiet right now. I think that you have to, again, be patient enough to wait for it. And this activity right now in the markets is really challenging. Amazon, certainly there's not much to do here. I don't even have levels to give you other than 215 to 220 to 235. Coin coming down again. Coin, I'd be looking if it come back down to around 260. I'd look to be a buyer. I'm not really looking to be a seller. Again, when they're oversold, I'm only looking for spots to buy. When they're overbought, I'm only looking for spots to sell. I'm not looking to be a two-sided trader in here, as these markets really lack the activity. We get busier, we'll be willing to trade both sides. And let's just take a look at the daily stuff in case something did happen. And again, volumes are really pretty pathetic. So it's really not one for me to want to get overly involved in. Okay. As we go back, crowd, again, right in the middle, it's nothing to do. 340 to 380. Meta, right in the middle, 580 to 640. Google, up towards the upper end, probably at 200. I'd look to be a seller. It's 185 to 200. IWM, I'd look to be a buyer around 220. If he comes back there, but it already did bounce off there a little bit this morning. Microsoft, right in the middle of nowhere, not much to do. MSTR, a little bit oversold. You can look at it. It's a little bit wild, and then certainly this is one I wouldn't be overly anxious to get involved with because, again, one of the things we're looking at here is a market that is so slow that it's hard to get any real action off of it. Nugget, certainly I look to be a buyer around 35. NVIDIA, nothing really to do here. I think you're 130 to 140 still. The Qs, nothing much to do here. I think you're 510 to 530. SMCI, again, you're seeing a lot of just kind of hovering in the middle, which does not give you a lot of opportunities. I don't think, again, I think you have to pick your spots where you want to play. Square, right in the middle of nowhere. And the SPY, right in the middle of nowhere. Tesla, again, very overbought. I would certainly look for, if a rally is to sell it, but really there's not much going on. Win, I'd look to be a buyer at some point. But again, I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not overly excited to do anything in here. I think that you have to learn in this business the ability to be patient enough to wait. I think when we look at this overall picture, you can see how slow it really is. So again, I'm not telling you not to trade. I'm telling you that I won't be doing much trading myself. And I do trade quite a bit when there's action, but there is no action. Certainly you can take a look at the notes as a potential sale. If you really feel like you want to get involved, but I think this is where you have to decide as a trader, okay, do you want to expose yourself to more risk in a market that the probabilities are not favoring you as much? And that I think is something that we have to recognize at all times. Do I have a high probability position that I'm a favorite to get it to go back the other way? And to me, I don't think that's a fact. I think that's more of a fallacy right now because there really is very little to do. I mean, just look at how slowly we're moving on a 4-minute basis. So if you're moving slowly on a 4-minute basis, what does that mean that you're going to be doing longer term? I think that these are one of the things that traders have to learn, or especially new traders, that there's no shame for not making a trade, okay? What you're really doing for yourself is you're saying, hey, I'm going to hold my capital and wait for better opportunities, okay? Again, it doesn't mean you cannot make money right now, but all I'm saying to you is that for now, I think the opportunities are fewer, okay? And I think that you can put yourself more in a problem situation by getting too involved here, because again, at the end of the day, there really isn't much to do. So if you don't have any speed or any action in this market, what would tell me that I would think I could make any real money right now, unless I was willing to take a position and hold it? But again, the Santa Claus rally, which again, the markets are a little bit lower, but the Russell has come all the way back from way down, and now it's up like about 100 points. You have to recognize that we're in still the Santa Claus rally period, which goes through the first week of the year, which means all that really means is that markets are very thin. Markets themselves are predisposed to go higher because there's always new money coming in as buyers without traders involved. And right now, most of the professional traders are off, and you're not seeing much volume. You're not seeing much speed. You're not seeing much real action. So I think for all of you, it just makes a lot of sense to kind of observe. It's a good time to learn. It's a good time to study. But we're going to cut this short today because there's nothing to do. So why waste your time trying to show you things that aren't probable? So in the meantime, have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday. And I don't think there'll be much more, but we'll be here to check it out anyways. So have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.